birth to adulthood. After all, he had been the embarrassing reminder that his mother had given birth to another man's child. He had never belonged. He had always been an intruder, the dark changeling when everyone else around him was blonde, and a high achiever when mediocrity would have been preferred. Those harsh truths no longer bothered Sevastiano. After all, he didn't like his snobbish, shrewish mother or his power-hungry, bullying stepfather, Sir Charles Aiken. He had even less in common with his half-brother, Devon, the pompous, extravagant heir to his stepfather's baronetcy, but he genuinely cared about Annabel. So, what on earth could she possibly have done to enrage her family? After all, Annabel avoided conflict like the plague. She followed the rules and stayed friendly with everyone, no matter how trying their behaviour. Only when she had insisted on training in art restoration had she defied the Aiken expectations. Her mother had wanted a daughter who was a socialite and had instead been blessed with a quiet, studious young woman devoted to her museum career. What could have happened to distress his half-sister to such an extent? Sevastiano frowned, conceding that he had spent a great deal of time in Asia in recent months, and consequently had seen much less than he usually saw of Annabel. Obviously, he was out of the loop. And once Annabel had flung herself, sobbing, into his arms at his elegant Georgian townhouse, confessions, recriminations, and heartfelt regrets tumbling in an unstoppable flood of revelation from her tongue, Sevastiano realized that he had been so far out of the loop that he might as well have been on another planet, and that the situation was much more serious than he could ever have guessed. Annabel had fallen madly in love with a much older man and had an affair. Sevastiano was even more shocked to discover that she had met the man concerned at one of his parties, Oliver Lawson, not a friend, a business acquaintance. Sevastiano compressed his lips with a frown. But he's married. I know, Annabel cut in, dropping her head because she was too ashamed to meet his eyes. She was a tall, slender blonde with large, reddened blue eyes and a drawn complexion. I know that now, when it's too late. When we met, he told me that he and his wife were legally separated and getting a divorce. I believed him. Why wouldn't I have? His wife lives at their country house and never ever comes to London, and there was no sign whatsoever of a woman at his apartment. Oh, Sev, I swallowed every stupid lie and excuse he gave me. Oliver may be CEO of Telford Industries, but his wife owns the business. I would say it is very unlikely that he would divorce her. Lawson must be twice your age as well, Sevastiano said in frank consternation. His life experience made it even easier for him to take gross advantage of your trust. Age is just a number, Annabel mumbled heavily. I feel so dirty now. I would never have got involved with him if I'd known he was still actually living with his wife. I'm not that kind of woman. I believe in fidelity and loyalty. I really loved him, Sev. But I can see now that I was a complete fool to believe his every word and promise. When I told him that I was pregnant, he tried to bully me into going for an abortion. He kept on phoning me and demanding that I do it, and then he turned up at the flat to underline that he didn't want this child, and we had a huge row. You're pregnant, Sevastiano murmured flatly, striving to hide his rage from her, because the concept of any man trying to browbeat Annabel into an abortion outraged him, particularly a man who had already lied and cheated his way into an inappropriate relationship with her. At 23, his sister was still rather naive, very much prone to thinking the best of everyone and making excuses for those who let her down. Obviously, she